Last time we saw the Whitecaps, they were flying high, but a couple of road losses has brought them crashing back down to earth, and on the outside looking in on the playoffs. Not so for the Puerto Rico Islanders. They're on top of the world, tied for top spot in the USL, and ready to pile on to the Whitecaps' problems. Can Vancouver make a major statement against the best? It's a clash of last year's finalists, Whitecaps and Islanders, next. The official start of the second half of the season, and what a great way to mark it with a rematch of last year's final between the Vancouver Whitecaps and Puerto Rico Islanders. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Safe on Foods Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw. It's been a tumultuous week for the Whitecaps. On Monday, Lyle Martin took a Marco Retta knee to the back. He is unavailable this weekend. On Tuesday, there was an ugly incident at practice between Jeff Park and Wesley Charles. This, of course, comes on the heels of the in-game fight between Wes Charles and teammate Charles Piqué. Now, as you can imagine, Charles has been released by the club, leaving a gaping hole on the back end for the Whitecaps to fill. The Whitecaps are coming off two straight 2-1 losses on the road. Head coach Taylor Thorderson saying he has not been pleased with his team's effort level one bit. They'll need a much better effort tonight against the Puerto Rico Islanders. They're first overall in the USL with 34 points. That is 16 better than the 8th place Whitecaps. For more on tonight's match, let's check in with our play-by-play crew, Peter Shad and Alan Arrington.
Yeah, Kristen, the Whitecaps need to turn it on here in the second half of the season, and maybe a visit by a team like Puerto Rico is just the tonic.
Well, Puerto Rico have done well as of late. They tied 0-0 in Portland. They're not giving a lot of goals away. They'll be a difficult opponent tonight, but I think the Whitecaps have had their number in the last couple of games. They beat them 2-1 in the final, and they beat them 1-0 the last game they played here. So they are beatable, and hopefully for the Whitecaps' sake, tonight's the night.
Because of the game on Thursday, that changes things for Colin Clark's squad. He's mixed the lineup up quite a bit here tonight, and one of the players that is familiar to both the team and to Whitecaps fans is Nick Adlery.
Yeah, Nick, an ex-Whitecap, obviously, and he scored 4 goals as of late for the Puerto Rico Islanders, and he's a handful, and I think that he's not marked tightly tonight. He could hurt the Whitecaps and score a goal, so they've got to be on the toes tonight and keep him in check.
Sandy Bandy is the man who made it level in the championship before Charles Piqué got the second half winner. For the Whitecaps, the big story this week is obviously the dismissal of Wesley Charles.
Yeah, I think that's very unfortunate. Wesley Charles is a very good player. I think he's a player that put his heart and soul into the team. He's obviously overstepped the line twice, and the Whitecaps have acted fairly swiftly and done the right thing in releasing him, I think, and set the tone. But it's a shame to see him go because he's been a good player for the Whitecaps and he had some emotion.
So the pressure's on these two gentlemen, including Marco Retta, to fill in at centre back.
Well, Marco Retta comes in and he's got a lot of experience, so it shouldn't be too much of a big issue for him to step in and fill the boots of Wesley Charles. I think he'll relish the opportunity and do a good job. And Jordy Lyle, he's been plagued with injuries a little bit, Jordy Lyle, but what a good player he is when he's on form. He's very quick, he's good in the tackle, he's good at getting forward, he's a good crosser of the ball, and I think if he's on his game tonight, Jordy Lyle should be a real asset for the Whitecaps.
And Marco Retta standing by with Christian Reed.
Marco, obviously a little tumultuous week for you. Now that Wesley Charles has departed, is it going to fall on your shoulders to obviously pick up your game on the back end?
Sure. I'm willing to take that responsibility. I am one of the elder statesmen on the team. Haven't played many years professionally. So, yeah, I mean, it comes down to me and the rest of us at the back four. Everyone's going to have to chip in. It's sad to see Wes go, but we've still got the season to play, and, we need a win tonight.
Obviously, this is the halfway mark. What does this team need to do to find your game again and obviously make up for some of those lost points?
I think we just have to look at ourselves as individuals and everyone pick up their performance individually. If we put out our performances consistently, then the results will come.
Good luck tonight. Thanks for
Thank
this.
you.
Positive Marco Retta as we get set for the Vancouver Whitecaps and Puerto Rico Islanders. Stay with us. Kickoff is next.
Save on Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps soccer back on Shaw, and a rainy, kind of Puerto Rico-like day almost, Alan. And we got thunder, we've got rain, and it's very muggy as well.
Well, that was on cue, the thunder, wasn't it? The winger bird came out. I thought he was banging his drum, but the thunder's coming. Perfect conditions to play, though, really. It's a little bit muggy, but the field's going to be a bit slick, which will make it a faster game. And it's a game that players love to play in tonight in these conditions. The field's looking in fabulous condition, and it's got the makings of a good game tonight.
Let's have a look at the starting 11 for both sides. First of all, the Puerto Rico Islanders played Thursday night in Portland, so it's a very different lineup for Colin Clark's men. Bohonik in goal. Michael Bohonik, formerly with Charleston, third year with the Puerto Rico Islanders. And the experienced players, the captain right in the middle of the park is Peta Villegas. Up front, Nick Adlery. We talked to him about him off the top, and he has 4 goals thus far this season. For the Whitecaps, it'll be Jay Nolly in goal, and Marco Retta lining up alongside Jeff Park. Hirano and Lyle are the fullbacks, and Gordon Chin slides in alongside Martin Nash. Tyrell Burgess will be on the left side of midfield. He had an excellent start to the last game. They're just in the middle of the anthems here, so let's listen to those for a moment, then we'll get back. At 24 degrees and very mild, but as you can see and maybe even hear on our effects microphones, the rain is really coming down right now at Swangard Stadium after a very hot day in Vancouver. So this will be good for the visiting side, Alan, because this is what they deal with every single day, hot days and then rain in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's very humid, and it's a little bit of rain coming down, quite a bit of rain actually, and it is typical Puerto Rico weather. And if my eyes don't deceive me, is that Ivor Evans working his way out to the center of the field to take the ceremonial kickoff?
Well, it is his player card day, as the Whitecaps do give away free player cards throughout the season, and it does look like the Fiji Flash, who walked onto your team back in 1987 and really made an impact.
What a player he was, Peter. He was exciting to watch. He was certainly a volatile player, and we had a few skirmishes reminiscent of Wesley Charles in training in games with Ivor. There was always something happening, but a great guy and a good player. He looks like he's had a few happy meals since he played for us, but he's doing very well, and all the best to Ivor Evans. What a good player he was for the club, and well remembered.
He's going to get you for that, by the way. He's coaching now as well. I believe his son plays. As we have a look at the goalkeepers just heading off to their nets, it'll be first of all, Michael Bohonik, a bit of a surprise, filling in for Bill Gaudette as he just breaks free from his scrum. 3 years with Puerto Rico, but not a lot of playing time recently. Bill Gaudette's had a run of 5 games with clean sheets, and because of the game on Thursday, the deputy gets the start here tonight in front of the south side. Jay Nolly, the ever-present for the Whitecaps, in the north goal to our left, and you see the record the same as the Whitecaps, and he wants to bring that goals allowed average down just a little bit. The man in the middle for tonight's match, wearing all gray, is John Oliva, and his assistants are Cameron Blair, who takes up the near side, and Andrew Foster from Victoria is on the far side. Fabrizio Romano is official number 4 tonight. Peter Shadd and Alan Arrington, Save On Foods. Whitecaps soccer is on the air. Swangard Stadium. The Whitecaps all in Umbro white, and Puerto Rico all in Umbro orange here tonight, as we have a rematch of the 2008 USL Championship game, when the field looked a lot worse than it did today, that's for sure.
Well, the field is in pristine condition, and no excuses for either team on the playing surface tonight. It really is one of the best surfaces in the league.
Floodlights are on. Fans are ready. They had more than a sellout for this match here tonight, and I'm sure the rain might have kept a couple of them away, but away we go here as the Whitecaps get set to kick off, and the real test will be at the back. Reda and Park will need to keep things tight, and Jordy Lyle checking back in at right back as Takahirano sends the ball left-footed into Puerto Rico territory. Nodded into midfield. Sandy Bondi is fouled by Terrell Burgess. And so the first free kick of the game goes to the visitors. Bondi, the man who scored the goal for Puerto Rico in the championship last season.
Had a good little atmosphere already. Wingers getting the crowd wound up. It's a really good crowd tonight, even though it is chucking it down with rain. There's quite a few people on the far side, and I'm sure there's a lot more huddled up on this side where the seats are all taken, but they're huddled up to keep dry. But a good crowd tonight.
And the Southsiders certainly in fine form here in the first half, as Jordy Lyle gets his first touch for tonight. But it's Puerto Rico in possession, and a long strike along the wet surface is covered up. Nick Adlery testing his old teammate Jay Nolly in minute number 1.
Well, not the best clearance from the Whitecaps there, giving the Puerto Rico Islanders a chance to get a strike and goal. You know, the ball wasn't dealt with too well by Marco Reda. Jordy Lyle having to come to the rescue of it and clear it, but it wasn't a great clearance, and give him a bit of a chance, and they'll be looking to expose that weakness tonight if they can, if they think that's a weakness. But I'm sure they'll be looking for Adler to use his pace in front.
Jordy Lyle does well, plays wide. West Knight whips it in, but taken away and cleared easily for Sean Fraser, as Fraser cuts inside his man Chin, and then plays it on the deck straight to Jeff Park. And now it's Takahirano, as Jordy Lyle made one of those patented dashes up the right flank just a moment ago, plagued by hamstring and back issues. Good run by Burgess into the penalty area. Square ball into the box. Haber back to goal. Can he line up a strike? And it's on target. And actually, Bohonik had a little bit of trouble with it as it spun off his hands, but he covers up. Whitecaps' first shot on target in minute 2.
Well, I think that's a good build-up. I think Marcus Haber does very well. He seems to get a lot more space than he should get. Gets a strike on goal, and unlucky not to get it past the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper made a bit of a meal of that one.
And also very fortunate was that a toe or a leg didn't get in the way, as the rain is absolutely teeming down at Swangard right now. We had not seen a downpour like this in a long, long time in Burnaby, as the ball is sent diagonally, and this town sure needs it. Of course, just when the game kicks off, as Jordy Lyle watches it go. But the players will love this, though, Alan.
Well, they will. I was just in Serbia for the last 3 weeks, Peter, with the Student Games University tournament there, and every day was red hot, 35, 40 degrees, and every day we got rain like this. It was bucketing down with thunder and lightning, and it was refreshing at times, but after a while we got tired of it.
The flag stays down. Bique's in the clear. Charles Bique, 1v1. Bique around the goalkeeper. Great tackle by the goalkeeper. Got his hands down, and Bique maybe needed to shoot a little sooner there. It's not the first time you've heard us say that, as play continues with Adlery. Back to goal. I don't know how he stayed onside, but the referee was right in line, and I think he was spot on there, as West Knight has the ball knocked away in an eventful first 5 minutes.
Peter, I thought the linesman was spot on. I'm right in line with that, and he was not offside, but Charles Bique has to do better with that. And I think what he's done is he's had a bit too long on the ball, and the longer on the ball for a striker, you've got more time to think, and it causes problems. And that's an own goal.
Marcus Haber!
Wow.
And a calamity at the back for Puerto Rico, as John Kraus tried to head it back to his goalkeeper. Haber swept in. It's his 6th goal in all competitions, and a yellow card with a thunderclap to boot.
What was he thinking at the back? I think the goalkeepers came creeping out there and not giving any information as to where he is. And the defender really, look, he's come creeping out, he's headed back to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper's really, I think he's at fault more than the defender. He should have said something there, but that's a tap in for the Whitecaps, 1-0. What a start, what a great start for the Whitecaps tonight.
Marcus Haber just opportunistic, but a horrendous piece of communication between John Krause and Michael Behonik as Jagdeo Singh plays it in the box. Here's Fraser, and a great tackle by Taka Hirano, and then no shout for Jeff Park, who is totally dispossessed, and the Whitecaps were a little fortunate there on the counterattack as Burgess plays it back to Hirano, who just made a very important tackle.
Well, if this carries on, that'll be 10-9 by half-time. Chances every couple of seconds here. That was a great chance for Puerto Rico, and really he should have done a little bit better. He should have got his shot away quicker. And Takarado having to come in there and block his shot, which was really, he's 12 yards out with a clean shot and goal. And it was a good block to keep Vancouver in it. It could well easily be 1-1 right now.
And the rain continues to absolutely sheet down at the moment as Lyle nods it into midfield for Chin, who fires it straight up in the air. BK tries to get under it and just knocks it into the bench occupied by Colin Clark, who will not be happy with his backup goalkeeper and his central defender John Krause there as Park sends it into midfield. Haber, the goal scorer, will make a nice little move in midfield and then spread it wide for Knight. Wes Knight, who could take a run on here. He gets the return ball, and here comes the pacey Knight down the right flank. Can he get a cross in? Good block there as the ball is cleared off the legs of Kevon Villarreal, and then it's knocked into touch for a Whitecap throw.
Well, the Puerto Rico Islanders not looking very comfortable at the back there. West Knight making a great run here. Look at his pace, getting back, and a good chance to get a cross in, but an equally good tackle to get a block in. And that was a good bit of defending, but a little bit of defending later on when he had the ball to clear it was not the best from the Puerto Rico fullback.
And now a chance for a long throw in from West Knight, who will back up to the track, and the footing may be tricky here, but he does launch it into the box. The goalkeeper comes, it's knotted down by Villarreal, and then Fraser is forced to knock it right back in touch again.
Well, it's absolutely bucketing down right now. It really is coming down the sheets, as you said. It's like a summer's day in Newcastle. This is where I come from. This is a lovely day. We used to sit on the beach here with our towels overhead.
Again, Knight hurls it to the edge of the 6, straight up in the air. I think last touch by Puerto Rico, and then thumped into midfield where Jordy Lyle gets a touch back in for Nash. The Whitecaps with a great start here at home, and a swerving ball played in by Jordy Lyle. I think he wanted that back stick, but it's off for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was a cross from Jordy Lyle. It was a cross come shot in the end. If it goes in, he'll take it, but it was definitely a cross. But it's good to see Jordy Lyle back in here, and he's pushing on quite a bit. He's getting forward. He's only been on here, what, about 7 minutes, but he's pushed on. He's had about 3 chances to get forward, and he's took every opportunity he can.
Behonik, who will toss and turn about that goal for a while, as we get a chance to mention Whitecaps summer camps, as Whitecaps players will be up close and personal at Whitecaps youth camps throughout the summer, and they make special appearances. For more information on Whitecaps youth soccer camps, visit whitecapsfc.com/camps, as Jagdeo Singh was beaten to it there by Park. And Park goes up and over his man, Jagdeo Singh, the fleet-footed number 23. But the Whitecaps come up with it, and here comes Taka Hirano with a bit of a spring to his step as he's got Burgess wide of him. There's the little, well, he thought about slipping it through, and then Burgess does get a cross in, but it's blocked. Gordon Chin follows up. Chin is closed down very quickly. And now Puerto Rico in possession with Rivera, who sends it into Whitecap territory. Alexi Rivera, who's one of the few Puerto Rico natives on this squad. In fact, right now he's the only one that's in the squad, at least. And Rivera will send it into Whitecap territory. A little flick backwards by Adlery. Park. Burgess trying to find BK, and now Behonik with definitely a louder shout than the one that eluded John Krause in minute number 4 and saw Marcus Haber steal in for a goal.
And he's standing right in front of the Southsiders, who are in fine form tonight. You can hear them chanting and singing and having a good time, and they've got to be absolutely drenched down there, and they're still involved and getting wound up into the game. Good to hear.
Nice little back header from Park. And then the throw down the near side touchline for One Night. A little touch in for Jordy Lyle, who gets hammered. As Jagdeo Singh is busy, and here's Bondi inside for Villegas. And Villegas puts the ball ahead of Villarreal, and the Whitecaps will have possession through Knight and then Nash. Gave it right away to Marceline. James Marceline, the Haitian part-time international at least, is chin. Piqué turns his man, gets pulled down, and Kyle Veras will be the man called for a foul. Minute number 9. Whitecaps 1, Puerto Rico Islanders 0 from Swangard on Save on Foods Whitecaps Soccer.
Well, it's a good distance out here to have a shot, but I'll tell you what, Martin Nash has hit him from here before, and with the surface being as it is, if he can skid one just in front of the goalkeeper, he could cause a few problems for the goalkeeper. The referee needs to get him 10 yards back, though. The shot's on, it's definitely on, and it might even be Burgess lining up for the shot, but I think the shot is definitely on.
Nash sends it back, posts, and the flag goes up. And I'm not sure if that was for offside or for a foul. I think it's offside on the far side.
Yeah, the flag came up right away for offside. That would have had a pop there. That would have go at the goalkeeper with a little bit of a skid on the ground and get players in for the rebounds and see what you get.
If you need to check a match score or find out who's on top of the goal scoring charts or catch up on the latest news in the United Soccer Leagues, do it by logging on to uslsoccer.com, the league's official website. Play with passion. Minute number 10, Whitecaps 1, Puerto Rico 0 on a 4th minute goal by Marcus Haber after a dreadful back pass attempt by John Krause. And Jeff Park was almost caught in possession there. Kendall Jagvio Singh is a very fleet-footed player up front for Colin Clark's men, and now Alexis Rivera will send the ball into Whitecap territory looking for Adlery. Down from Hirano. And Krause. Right-footed ball diagonal. Jordy Lyle steps in front of that, sends it up the near touchline and out of play. After a frantic start, it's slowed down a little bit here as Charles Biquet got his hand up on the Veras ball. Sean Fraser inside for Bondi, and then Marceline, who's playing in midfield just ahead of the 4 defenders. Good header down by Areta. Burgess almost left it short for Nash, and the Whitecaps will get a throw on the far side.
Yeah, a little bit short for Martin Nash, that ball there, put him in a bit of trouble. It's a slick surface, and the passing has to be quite firm because I think the ball will hold up in the wet grass. But it's a great surface to play on. The rain's slowed down a little bit, it's almost stopped. But it'll still be nice and slick for the players.
Look out, here comes Bondi, edge of the Whitecap penalty area. Inside, Fraser! His shot was deflected, and it'll go for the first Puerto Rico corner as it just skidded wide of Jay Nolly.
Well, that's another chance that he's had there, the number 7. He's had both shots blocked, but that was a good chance there. It was pulled back there, and just a good little block in to stop the shot. And that's what good defenders do. They've got to throw their bodies in front of there to stop the shot and stop the cross, and they've certainly done that tonight.
Sandy Bondi, the number 15, right-footed ball, whips it in low and headed down to Fraser again, and he just got under it and put it in the VIP section. And Kyle Veras had stepped up and was in a pretty good challenge. If he got his head to it, Jay Nolly would have been in trouble. As it is, it's a goal kick in minute number 12. .24 degrees at kickoff, and the rain has just subsided for the moment as Jay Nolly sends it back into play with the odd thunderclap in the distance. Haber went up, beaten to it by Veras. Adlery. Nash steals in, tried to play in Knight, but it's knocked away by Villarreal. And then Jeff Clark off note.
Peter, the referee's done a decent job so far. There's been a few little clashes that could be fouled, and some referees might give him. But I think he's looking at the conditions and letting the players get on with it. And there's been a few looks over towards him saying, should there be a foul? But I think he's playing within the spirit of the game, and he's letting a fair bit go. And it's better for the players when he does that, and I think they'll appreciate that.
Marceline, and then a tackle in the middle of the park, and here comes Haber, the goal scorer, and Villegas stepped in to win that. But look at the speed from Burgess, who did a great job to pressure Rivera, but back it goes to the goalkeeper Bihonik. As we approach the quarter-hour mark, Bihonik will put it to deck and send it into Whitecap territory. We were impressed with Tyrell Burgess in the game against Minnesota here, where he had 3 or 4 good crosses in the first 5 or 10 minutes. And he's had a pretty good start here as well. Krause. Rivera.
Come out! Come out!
Veras. And then Villarreal, who was closed down pretty quickly and forced to knock it in touch.
Yeah, that's good pressure all around. Charles Biquet set the tone there by sprinting 30 yards to get across and defend, and West Knight doing the same. And it just caused a few problems, and causing Puerto Rico to give the ball away. Good pressure from the Whitecaps.
Villegas for Adlery, who's felled by Reda, and they get on with it quickly. And here comes Fraser, who's got the pace down this left side, skidding along the pitch. Left-footed ball into the penalty area, top of the box. Hirano left it. Oh, and a big tackle there on Bondi. That was a crunching tackle. Bondi gets up. Hirano's okay. Adlery plays it back, and then Rivera misses it. Look out, here's the foot race. As away goes Burgess. Terrell Burgess, he's got BK ahead of him, just lost control a little bit. But you can see how he could change pace in a heartbeat. And the pitch is a bit slick as Rivera fell on that occasion, and he's lucky the Whitecaps couldn't capitalize.
Well, Taka Hirano was a little bit fortunate as well there, Peter. His first touch was poor and got him into trouble, but he really made up for it with a tremendous tackle to block the shot, but caused his own problems a bit with a poor touch.
Good run here by Jagdio Singh, forcing Park to knock it in touch. Puerto Rico with the throw, about 25 yards up. As we've reached the quarter-hour mark, Whitecaps 1, Puerto Rico 0. Marcus Haber scoring early. Villegas. And you can see there's actually puddling on the pitch. We sure haven't seen that in a long time here at Swangard. As Kraus, who was the GOAT on that opening goal. Although you have to say the goalkeeper probably didn't make a shout, which he should have. BK. Good advantage played by the referee, and on that occasion, he didn't give a foul as Knight was felled. Veras then wide for Villarreal, and the return ball poor from Villegas.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy play coming down the flanks there, and the passing is just a little bit off for Puerto Rico.
I'm a little surprised that wasn't called, actually.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a foul, but again, I think the referee's trying to let the game flow rather than stop at every incident. He's trying to let the players get on with it.
Diagonal ball played forward by Rivera. The race is on for Jordy Lyle. Getting in behind is Jagdio Singh, who's just got pace to burn. And they really have to be aware of him. He wanted a foul, not given. It'll be a goal kick.
Well, I thought Jordy Lyle might have lost track of him there because he seemed to have the edge on him, Jordy, but he's just nicked it in front of us, and he's got in there and almost got in front. And a little bit of a dive near the end, but no foul, never a foul. And Jordy Lyle just doing enough to get there and cause some problems.
Did you know the Whitecaps runs many of its community programs through the Whitecaps Foundation? This year, the Whitecaps Foundation granted 80 Whitecap camp scholarships to youth throughout Metro Vancouver, made possible by their partners at the Boston Pizza Foundation. You can find out more about Whitecaps Foundation initiatives at whitecapsfoundation.org as Taka Hirano goes down in a heap, and Nick Adlery having a word with the referee. And Hirano remains down, and he'll need some treatment.
Well, I think again the Whitecaps have caused their own problems here, Peter. It was a poor ball out from Jane Ollie and put the fullback under pressure right away, and he's trying to clear the ball and just got caught by Nick Adlery late, a bit of a late challenge. And Martin Nash is having a chat with the referee. It certainly was a bit of a late challenge there, but I think Jane Ollie's caused that problem, giving a poor ball out to him, put him in trouble.
The Whitecaps are very thin at the back already. They have Luca Bellisomo. Mason Trafford could step in at left back. But beyond that, it's an area where the Whitecaps are certainly going to have to look for reinforcements over the next couple of weeks, and certainly before the transfer window closes, as Colin Clark has a chat with Kendall Jagdio Singh, wearing number 23. And Nick Adlery continues his discussion with Jeff Park, who wasn't happy about that late challenge. And he stayed out of the referee's notebook, but the Whitecaps do get a free kick, and Hirano is on the touchline. But it looks like he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think Taka Hirano will come in the next chance he can. I think he's just took a bit of a late knock there, and you know, it knocks a bit painful. It's not too bad. It's when you have a twist or you turn something, that's a problem.
Great flick on by BK, and I don't know if he meant to play the dummy for Chin there, but away come the Islanders, and you can see the pace here of Sean Fraser, and peeling away is Adlery. Adlery trying to get around Hirano. Adlery still on his feet, brought down, no foul, and then cleared away in desperation into midfield. Stepping up is Kraus, who'd love to atone for his error by setting up a goal here, as Marceline sidesteps the buzzsaw Chin, and then he knocks it into touch. The Whitecaps with a throw, but again, A little bit on the dodgy side at the back for the Whitecaps.
Well, he got Adlery coming through here, and his pace is causing problems. He just lets it run across his body there, and I don't think there's a foul there. I think he's won the ball, Hirano, fair and square, but his pace is certainly a bit of a problem for the Whitecaps, and they're going to have to be careful. What they need is a bit more cover around the back to make sure that's cut off.
Boy, Marco Retta, though, went down, and both of his feet got a hold of Adlery there, but not given, as BK did get up. The Whitecaps get the throw, and maybe West Knight will try a long one from about 22 yards up. 20th minute, the home side ahead, and Knight will back up to the track. Looking for Charles BK. That's knotted out by Marceline, sent across. Burgess off the chest, just couldn't shape up for a shot. Here comes Hirano on the overlap, steps aside Rivera. Tried to go in between the two players, and then it's cleared only as far as Chin. Chin, head down, has a go! And good move by BK to follow up, but Bihonik was there. No problem for the Puerto Rico keeper.
Well, Gordon Chin's done the right thing there, but he's just not got a hold of it, really. I'm sure he'd love to have that one again. Just not got enough, enough leather on the ball there to give it a good whack. But certainly the right idea to try and hit it, and it's on target. You know what? Sometimes they do go in. You get a deflection, they might go. So well done, Mr. Chin.
Throw for Puerto Rico as Villarreal will throw this one in, the number 19. Jordy Lyle nods it up in the air. And again, it'll be Villarreal.
And they're going to set up for a long one, I think, again. And it's very difficult to defend against this if it's flicked on and you get players running in the back post. But it's also a bit slick to get the throw in as well, and it's a wet ball.
Veras from Strongsville, Ohio, gets it into the box, flicked backwards, but it was a foul on Jordy Lyle as Nick Adlery again muscled his way in there.
Yeah, a little bit of a push in the back on Jordy Lyle there. Jordy's set up. He's a clear winner to get the header, and just a bit of a nudge in the back pushes him down, and the referee spotted that one.
I would imagine if Mr. Adlery commits another foul in the next couple of minutes here, he will go into the referee's notebook, having had a good long chat. BK did very well to hold up, and the Whitecaps will get a free kick as, again, it was Kyle Veras who stepped into the Whitecap forward.
Well, I've mentioned the referee. He's done a very good job up to now, Peter. He's let things go. He's let them play. And the players are starting to take a little bit of an advantage of that now, and he's just starting to tighten up. And that's a sign of a good referee. He knows when to call him, he knows when not to. And he's had a good, decent job up to now.
John Oliva is the man in the middle as a long ball played off of Rivera. And here comes the first Vancouver Whitecap corner of the match. And it's brought to you by the Steve Nash Sports Club. And it'll come from the far side, and I think it will be Terrell Burgess to swing this one in. As the Whitecap rookie number 25 backs up to the south side, whips it in low and hard all the way through. Good ball played in. Here comes BK. Two players went up for it, including Park, and I think BK went in pretty hard on his man.
That's one of the best corners I've seen the Whitecaps take this year, Peter. What a great delivery from Terrell Burgess, and almost got the flick on to cause some problems there, but the delivery is so difficult to defend against. It's in with pace, it's curling a little bit, it's dipping a bit, and it's not an easy ball for a defender. The longer the ball's in the air, I think it's a defender's ball, but a fast ball in like that, I think the striker's got the advantage.
Well, especially when the pitch is slick, and the goalkeeper already has had one little blunder, and maybe not as confident as Villegas tries to send it through for Jagdio Singh. Up goes Hirano, appeals for handball, not given, and there's Burgess to whack it forward left-footed. He's got both feet on him, does the Whitecap number 25, and it's Rivera back to collect. Midway through the first half, Whitecaps 1, Puerto Rico Islanders 0 in a rematch of the 08 championship here at Swangard, which the Whitecaps, of course, won 2-1 thanks to Charles BK's 2 goals. Adlery did very well to keep the ball in there, but West Knight collects. Then for Park, Villarreal, the TNT native, and then Adlery, the Jamaican. And then off and out it goes from Sandy Bondi.
A little bit too tight for them there, trying to play the ball nice and short and keep possession, but they've knocked it out of bounds a little bit too often down the left-hand side, and it's a little bit sloppy play from Puerto Rico players.
Jordy Lyle Straight up in the air from Villarreal and out for another Whitecap throw. Nash tried to play it early down the line, but Villarreal is there to whack it into Whitecap territory, and again it goes out, as we've seen a little bit of change of possession from balls that are not staying on the park. And Jordy Lyle's had a very good start so far, you have to say, Alan, after
He's
not really
done
getting
very
in.
well, Peter. He's a good player. He's just had a horrendous time with injuries. Hopefully that's over and he's back on the mend, because he's certainly got something to offer. He's pacey, he's a good defender, he reads the game well, and when he gets forward he can get a decent crossing.
Great ball by BK, a little shove by West Knight. I think that's the right call, and the referee's assistant on the near side helped out the referee on that occasion. Jordy Lyle has seen Chris Franks, the physio, more than Chris Franks' his wife has seen Chris Franks over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I told Jordy Lyle, they've named a ward after him in Burnaby General. He's there that often. But he wasn't too pleased when I said that.
Up he goes now, wins the header, beautifully done. Martin Nash. Not only that, he brings a lot of experience. I mean, here's a guy who spent some time in Walsall, England, just outside of Birmingham City, and maybe though he didn't play a whole lot in the first team, he sure got a lot of experience from that adventure.
Well, anything you do like that, Peter, just gives you experience. He's training every day with top pros, you know, and Walsall's a very good club. There's a lot of history in Walsall Football Club. Birmingham's one of the hotbeds of football in Britain. And just to be in an environment day in, day out has got to give you a little bit more about yourself, and he's a better player because of it. So the experience, everybody talks about experience. It's something you can't coach. You've got to get on with stuff and do it, and Jordy Lyle's certainly done it. He's been around a bit.
Marceline, Adlery back to goal, inside for Bondi, and that's closed down very effectively, and then a nice little shutter there by Hirano, and then Nash tries to whip it through, and now the pace of Burgess to be tested. The goalkeeper comes out, though. It was just a little bit too far ahead of his white-clad teammates. As Vahonik puts it to the deck. Marcus Haber slipping just a moment ago, so it has been a challenge for these players to keep their feet, and now a push by Adlery, and that's another foul.
Got to be yeah, he has to give him a yellow card there. He's actually pushed Jordy Lyle in the face a couple of times. If he gets away without a yellow card here, he's a very fortunate young man.
Yeah, well, he will now, because he's complained too much. But I just said a moment ago, if he gets another foul in the next 5 minutes, he's going to go in the book. And indeed, in minute number 27, Nick Adlery is going to get a yellow card.
Yeah, I think deservedly so. And it's not. I don't know if it's so much for persistent fouling. It might well be, but I certainly think he had his hand up and trying to push Jordy Lyle in the face, and that warrants a yellow card on its own, I would think so. The referee's again done a very decent job tonight.
And now he's got that on the back of his mind as it's sent into Puerto Rico territory. Nash tried to send it wide left. Nice steal by Knight. Then for Nash. Again, he's got his head up looking for Burgess. Chips it wide left. Burgess stays onside. Can he keep this in? Does. Oh, it didn't, as it just saw off on the far side. But you can see Martin Nash, every time he looks over, he sees that room out there for Burgess, and he wants to test out the pace of the youngster.
In all fairness, it wasn't the best ball from Martin Nash. It was played in behind Burgess there, and he had to try and check back and pick the ball up. And it was just on its way out of bounds, and he just couldn't get there in time.
Hirano called for that foul, his first of the match, and I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to test out this youngster here, the number 19 Villarreal, because he's relatively new to USL soccer, and they've got West Knight over on this side who's got some pace to burn as well, as we've got lightning crackling off in the distance there. Villarreal. And again, Colin Clark had to change up most of his regulars from the Thursday 0-0 draw in Portland. That goal, by the way, by Haber ended a 5-game run of clean sheet football by Puerto Rico. Rivera steps up for this throw-in. Nice turn by Villegas, but the service was really poor as another big lightning crack goes off in the distance here. The fans reacting to that.
Yeah, it's all happening tonight. We've got lightning in the background. We've got rain been coming down in teams. It's slowed down now, but it's a little bit bleak out there, to say the least.
And that's something that the referee will have to, of course, monitor, because you aren't really supposed to be playing when the lightning storms get close at hand, as Jay Nolly sends it into Puerto Rico territory. Again, BK goes up, and Kraus is right there, and this time it's going to be BK who gets the yellow card in minute number 29 as he backed into Kraus.
I'm not so sure if it's a backing in. I'd like to see that again, because I think he might have had an elbow up, and if he's got an elbow up, that's why he's probably got a yellow card. And here we'll see that, and he's up there, and yeah, he's got a little bit of an elbow across him. It's not that bad, but the referee's in his spot, he can see that, and he's having none of it, and a yellow card it is for Charles Biquet. So both strikers, Adley and Biquet, on yellow cards. They've got to behave themselves a bit, or they could be off the field.
Kyle Veras to send this back into play. 6'4". Played in Norway before joining the Islanders, and again the service has not been good for Colin Clark's crew. And a real light show off in the distance. Hirano. Bondi fell. Hirano steps up. Couldn't play in the feet of Haber. And then Marceline slipped and fell, and now here's Wes Knight with a bit of room down this right flank. Overlapping is Jordy Lyle. Knight coming inside now again. It's Burgess asking for it, wide left, as Knight's come all the way across. Burgess. And you feel like the counter-attacking move just kind of lost something there, as Chin on the deck for Knight. Nice little ball played wide for Nash, who put a push on Adlery, no foul. Jordy Lyle. Martin Nash whips it in and nodded away by Veras. Then Chin. And Knight just couldn't reach out and pull that one in, as a sliding tackle by Park ahead of Jagdeo Singh, and the Whitecaps concede the throw.
Yeah, good challenge there from Park. He's done a good job to get his foot in there and deny the player getting past him.
Park and Reda almost got mixed up there as the ball goes into the hands of Jay Nolly, which gives us a chance to drop down to the pitch and see how the tactician is handling things. Kristen?
Well, Coach, an early breakaway you couldn't take advantage of, but Marcus Haber obviously getting on that defensive mistake. Have you liked the way your teams responded to this early lead?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. I would have liked us to create more chances, but we are there, and it seems to be quite even, so the chances are going both ways, or the attacks are going both ways. With the slippery grass now, everything can happen, so we will just see how we manage to do that.
Is there concern from your players when the field gets like this?
Well, it's always more difficult to control, you know, but because there can be some misses because of that. So just hope that we manage that well.
Thanks for this.
Thanks.
Peter?
Tater Torderson, obviously pleased with the start. Minute number 32, Whitecaps 1 and Puerto Rico Islanders 0 as Reda steps up. Finds Hirano. Burgess wide left and Gordon Chin inside. Chin trying to pick out Biquet with his back to goal. Nash, quick switch and a good ball left-footed, and just too short is Wes Knight as he backpedaled to the line but couldn't hold it in.
Yeah, Martin Nash trying to spread the game open and you know, hit diagonal balls into the fullbacks, behind the fullbacks and into the wingers, but just a little bit too strong that time. Wes Knight actually could have been a little bit wider, made it easier for himself, but he's tucked in 10 yards and he's always going to be struggling to get that.
Well, Colin Clark is absolutely furious because it sure looked like Marco Reda on that occasion shoved Adlery aside, and Adlery on a yellow card is furious as the ball is sent through and the flag is up on Marcus Haber. But when you look back at this opportunity, Alan, it was a back pass played short and Adlery was just shoved aside. Good body position, but you could have argued for a free kick there. Yeah,
he's got away with one there, I think, but Colin Clark obviously not too happy with the referee in that instance. But it's a bit of an iffy challenge to say the least, and fortunate not to get a free kick against you.
Edge of the penalty area and just a little too far for Jagdeo Singh. And Jay Nolly will take over from here. With a deep-rooted 85-year history in the sport, Umbro is the longest-standing football brand in the world, headquartered in Manchester, England. For more information on Umbro and its wide selection of products, visit umbro.com. Sponsors of not only both these two teams' kits, but of USL Soccer, as Jordy Lyle throws in. Haber with a flick. Wes Knight on the chase. Biquet following up. And again, it's off and out right in front of Tater Torderson. Jordy Lyle, nice throw down the line, trying to catch Haber on the move. And then a little tackle by the youngster Villarreal. Chin. And again, another strong tackle by Nick Adlery.
And I think he's only getting a throw in for that, Jody Lyle, if I'm not mistaken. I think the referee's given a throw in. It looked like a bit of a foul from what I'm sitting, but the referee's let it go, and it's a throw in for the Whitecaps.
Well, this is one of the challenges. One of the challenges with Adlery last year was getting off his game for things like that, and it seems like he's a little bit distracted at the moment, and he's going after all these fouls that are a little bit on the 50-50 side. As Jordy Lyle gets possession back again, comes inside for Nash, who had to slide to get it through. Burgess will get there first. Little ball through for BK. Gets around his man, poked away. Burgess on the follow-up, poked away by Villegas. Now Knight trying to get around Villegas, does so. And another good move, but a good tackle by Villarreal there. Minute number 35, and the Whitecaps putting some pressure on here, but one good ball finds Fraser, and away come the Islanders. Fraser plays it wide, but that's easily cut out by Hirano, who read it well and steps forward. Taka Hirano carries on. Now he's run out of ideas. And so he presses forward. Still carrying on. He's got two men on him. And Kraus finally lays it square for Rivera. And there's a sliding tackle by Nash, but straight off and out, as these two teams are not really.
Well, the tackles are certainly flying in, and it's a perfect night for slide tackles. I mean, I always try and tell the players to stay on your feet, but it is very tempting tonight to go to ground and slide in. It's perfect condition for it. I always think you're giving yourself a little bit away by doing that, and you're better off staying on your feet if you can.
It's already the third game of the season between these two teams, and we're only at the halfway mark, so they don't really like each other all that much, and especially given what happened in the championship last year. And now they get a free kick about 40 yards up and off to the left, and it's Burgess off the ball. Can he whip in another good ball? Low and hard into the box.
That's a poor ball in that, Peter. It's got to clear the first defender, and that's really not good enough. The ball's got to be played in and give your players a chance to get on the end of it, and there's really no chance there. The defender's ball all the way.
Nash tries a long floated ball, but that's over and out for a goal kick to our right. Whitecaps are on the road Friday. You can follow them away from Swangard on USLLive.com. Kickoff from Rochester on Friday at 5 p.m. and that'll be perhaps the debut for Steve Kindle, who is playing for the Rhinos. Our next broadcast is on the 15th of August as the Carolina Railhawks come to town. The Whitecaps trying to avenge that 2-0 loss at WakeMed Soccer Park a couple of Fridays back. 37th minute, and a free kick against Vancouver.
Well, they've had a bit of a decent performance the first half. I mean, they've got a fortunate goal in all honesty, but they've done okay, the Whitecaps. They've done a lot better than they've been doing on the road as of late. So it's welcome to come home, and they're obviously doing better at home.
Diagonal ball into the box, won by Park. West Knight, and again Adlery clips in. Actually, that was Varys on that occasion. Haber, and again Knight just couldn't keep it in on the near side. It's pretty scrappy at the moment, and most of the play has been on this side of the field. Adlery, Kraus, right-footed ball, Reda, and then a good nod through by Nash, only as far as Chin. And then Chin spreads it. Burgess. BK's offside if the ball is played now, but Burgess carries on. He's going to take on Rivera here. Burgess. Then a right-footed ball floated through. BK, edge of the penalty area, and he just couldn't corral it there. And Marceline just got it away, and now a counterattack opportunity as away goes Adlery. He's got Jagdeo Singh ahead of him. Bandy through the middle, and Bandy just couldn't make his mind up. But here comes the follow-up for Jagdeo Singh, edge of the penalty area. And is Bandy onside? No. As the referee's flag, Andy Foster went up in a hurry on the far side, and the Whitecaps dodged a bullet there.
Yeah, they did dodge a bullet. There was two little chances of being offside. The second one I thought was definitely offside, and the referee or the referee's assistant has it right. We look at that there. He's just about a half a yard offside, and a good call from the assistant referee.
Nolly with just over 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Marceline spreads it for Villegas. And Jordy Lyle stepping in. Puerto Rico tied for first in the USL1 with 2 other teams. But it'd be hard to tell who's the first place team here tonight. The Whitecaps have had a pretty good showing, as you mentioned a moment ago.
Yeah, it has been a good showing, and there's really not been a lot in it tonight. I think there's been chances both end. Whitecaps have had the fortune of getting the early goal, and a bit of a scrappy one, to say the least. I mean, that was offside. Yeah. It was more like a case of Puerto Rico giving the goal away rather than it was the Whitecaps scoring it. So it's been very even. The two teams battling it out here, and I don't think the scoring's over yet. I think there's a bit more to come into the game yet.
Jeff Park. Long diagonal ball, looking for Haber up front. Haber got there. Edge of the penalty area. Here comes Burgess! Oh, and he just couldn't get over it as that ball fell invitingly. It was actually Gordon Chin at the edge of the box who had to go there.
And certainly worth a strike, worth a chance. He's had a couple of Gordon Chin. The first one he didn't get a lot on. This one I think he's got a bit more on it there. And he's under pressure. And that's not a bad effort. Player coming rushing at you like that. You've got to look after yourself, but a decent effort.
I was right the first time. It was Burgess. He's had a couple of those here tonight. But he certainly has excited the Whitecaps fans with his pace and his ability to play some good, difficult balls into the penalty areas. Nash spreads it for Herano. And then they'll get a throw in on the far side. Herano trying to dry the ball off here in minute number 41. Rivera. Adlery hung on to it and finds Marceline.
Come on.
Villarreal. Jagdeo Singh, great turn. Park pulled him down. There'll be a no yellow card as play continues. Bondi plays it for Adlery, who stumbled and fell, and then it's knocked away by Reda, only as far as Kraus, who sidesteps Burgess. Finds Bondi. Bondi gets around his man. Can he get the cross in here? Does keep it in. Fraser had it go off the legs of Reda and out for a Puerto Rico. No, it'll be a Whitecap goal kick.
The assistant referee's giving the goal kick, and the referee's right there as well. Goal kick, but another chance. It's certainly been lots of chances either end, and this is a good chance for Puerto Rico. It's a good chance they're blocked. Another good block. We're being entertained by a lightning show here. It's quite a show on the far side. Lightning flashes every couple of seconds. There's fork lightning, the sheet lightning, and here at Swangard it's beautiful conditions. The rain stopped and it's perfect for playing.
You have to worry a little bit, as dry as it's been and the fires in Kelowna, that none of these lightning strikes touch off any fires here, because that's certainly been a concern. Not for the players right now. They're focused on this match in minute number 42, and the Whitecaps holding on to that lead. And would a victory ever perhaps turn their fortunes around, and they really need to make hay here at Swangard Stadium, because they have not been so great away from Burnaby, as the ball is played wide for Villarreal. Knight with him stride for stride. And Villarreal frustrated as he knocks it off and out.
Well, this is the dangerous time, as I always say, Peter, the last 5 minutes of each half, the first half or second half, as well. A lot of goals are scored. And if the Whitecaps can score a second before half time, they'll certainly be in the driver's seat. If Puerto Rico can tally one and tie one up, they'll be certainly back in the game.
Villegas. Bondi couldn't get there. Nash is back, thumps it into midfield. BK with a lovely soft touch finds Burgess. Haber trying to stay on side, and Burgess has to hold up and slipped and fell right in the center circle, and that has been a problem here after the torrential downpour. And then in goes Burgess with a hard tackle. Both players, he and Rivera, get up. Referee didn't like the spot of the throw-in. I don't remember ever seeing this many lightning strikes in quick succession.
Well, it is coming. It's fairly. There's a lot of lightning strikes coming through. Fork lightning, sheet lightning. It's all there tonight. We've had a fair share of rain and thunder and lightning.
Rivera.
It reminds me when I was playing, Peter, my nickname was Lightning. I was that fast down the wing, you know, and it just comes back to me.
Of course. Peter Shadd and Alan Arrington from Swangard Stadium, and I think there is some concern about the encroaching lightning, and that's something they'll have to think about here.
In fact, Peter, I saw Bob Sortel, who was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and the Canadian Hall of Fame was one of the guests tonight. I saw him down there talking to the referees, and I think it is a concern, and there may be a bit of a delay in the game until the lightning stops, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if that is what's happening right now.
And he's talking to both captains, Villegas and Nash, and I think that's what we're facing here, because it's just been non-stop, and I think there's a concern for safety. So we shall see if there will be a lightning today. We have never seen that here at Swangard Stadium.
We have not. Peter, I was just in Serbia for 3 weeks with the Canada team for the FISU games, and we actually played in a torrential downpour similar to tonight. The lightning was flashing across the field, and we played on. It was incredible. And every day we were there, the rain was coming down and thunder and lightning every single day. And none of the games were stopped for that. It seemed to be not a problem, but I think they're very, very wise in delaying the game until the lightning comes off. There have been instances in the past where players have been struck on the field, so it's precaution. It's better to be safe than sorry.
So in the 44th minute, we have suspended play here at Swangard Stadium. All the fans who are on the aluminum bleachers have been asked to move to the concourse, and this is for a concern over the proximity of this lightning storm that's been flashing all afternoon and evening long. As the players leave the field, and the broadcasters are now in charge of keeping you entertained for an indefinite period of time.
I'm not singing, Peter, and that's what you want. There's no chance I'm singing. I might crack a few jokes, but I'm not singing any songs. No, the weather is certainly a factor tonight in the game. The lightning is a concern, and I think the referee and the officials have certainly done the right thing in holding it off until it goes away. And one of the concerns in the area, as you said, is the fires, the forest fires. It's still flashing, fork lightning coming down, very strong. So let's hope there's not a lot of fires, especially where I live, because I want to get home to bed tonight.
The rain has sort of resumed here. The floodlights obviously are on at Swangard Stadium as we have suspended play. And I wouldn't be surprised actually if they came out and just finished the first half, switched ends right away, and then carried on. Yeah,
that's possible. They could certainly do that. They can play the minute and a half or whatever needs to be played, and then just switch end for end, and hopefully the storm's passed by now. The rain's starting to come down again. It's raining fairly heavy, and I can't remember ever seeing this at Swangard Stadium. I've seen lots of rain, but I've never seen a show like this.
And you do have to, I guess, commend the referees for making this decision. I think mostly for those fans that are seated in the aluminum seats over there, because that could be a real problem if there was a lightning strike. I mean, the chances of it happening are very slim, but it is getting closer, and so that's why they have to.
We should have been playing Minnesota tonight, because the thunder's all over the place, aren't they? It's absolutely bucketing down now. The thunder and lightning is like I've never seen it before.
You're watching Save On Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps USL Soccer from Swangard Stadium. We are in a rain and lightning delay, and it's quite a show here tonight, as you can see. The score, the Whitecaps 1, Puerto Rico 0. We will continue in just a moment.
Welcome back to Save On Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw. And an unfortunate storm delay, but we're lucky to have with us former Canadian national team member Dale Mitchell, and of course former Canadian national team coach as well. And thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, it's nice to be here.
Braving the storm with us. I wanted to ask you first, the entire 1986 World Cup team was honored before the game. How special was that?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice of the Whitecaps to do that, and good to see some of the guys. You know, we don't see each other that much, so all in all, it's been an enjoyable night, and hopefully we get to see the second half.
And those reunions, what are the first stories that are told?
Well, usually Sven Haberman has the first story, and it's a lot like the stories that he used to tell. The same ones come out all the time, but they seem to be just as funny, you know, when you hear them after all those years. But, you know, we had some good times together, and those memories and the guys you played with, that sticks with you throughout all the years, and it's really good to see everybody.
And of course, that's a special memory for all Canadian soccer fans, the only time Canada's been to the World Cup. What was that experience like, just to know that for the first time you were on that big stage?
Yeah, it's hard to remember. It was a long time ago, you know, and I think like a lot of things that happen when you're younger, you think it's normal, you know, and that we'll play in this one and then we'll be back in the next one and maybe the one after that, and you know, we'll go there and we'll compete well against these teams. But you quickly see when you get to a tournament like that had players like Platini and Zico and Diego Maradona, that was probably at his peak. That was 1986 was
is really the peak of his career, and he led Argentina to the World Cup. You quickly see that for a Canadian team, you're in really tough. And our first game was against France. The guys did well. They were European champions at the time, but we lost 1-0. And then we had 2 European teams after that, Hungary and Russia. And quickly the tournament was over for us. But you take it a little bit for granted. You think you're going to be there again, but it didn't happen for us again. And hopefully down the road it happens for some of our younger players.
I was going to ask specifically about that game against France. Everyone expected, obviously, a bit of a rout, and that's not the way it turned out at all. Is there a real source of pride for the team when you look back at that game to have held France just to that 1-0 game?
Yeah, I think so. I think the biggest thing, that we all have to remember back then is the team didn't have a lot of experience playing against big countries. I think at the time we only had Bridgie that was playing in Europe. The rest of us were all playing in North America. We didn't get a lot of friendlies against teams like Brazil and Spain and France and countries like that. The national team now gets, we have a lot of players that play over there, and we have a lot of experience playing against bigger countries. So we really didn't know what to expect, and there's a bit of an intimidation factor when, you look across and you see Platini, Jerez, Tikina. They were European champions at the time, and like I said, the team that played on the day did great against them. It's unfortunate that they got that goal to win the game, but all in all, I think the performance of the team, the entire tournament was good. We did the country proud, I think.
You've mentioned several times that there's the expectation that Canada would obviously be there again. You've been involved at all levels, and obviously politics play into it a little bit as well, but why do you think Canada has been unable to get back in the international stage?
It's an easy question, and it's a difficult answer. I think that as much as we do have a lot of good players right now, everybody else has gotten better too. It's like Honduras we had to play back then. The Honduras team you see now is completely different. Their makeup has changed. They're a more athletic team. They didn't have players playing for big clubs in Europe, and now they have 5 or 6 players that play in Europe. Mexico's always been Mexico. Of course, the U.S. have gotten a lot better. Costa Rica goes on a regular basis, and I think it's just in general that we've improved a little bit, and we have good players, but everybody else is getting better and better. And soccer is the most competitive sport in the world, and it's very difficult at the international level to get those results.
Well, we thank you for your insight, and we'll let you get out of the storm. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot. Enjoyed it.
Dale Mitchell, 55 caps, 19 goals as a member of the Canadian national team. Stay with us. We're in a storm break on Save on Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw. Welcome back to Vancouver Whitecaps Save on Foods Soccer on Shaw TV. We're braving the storm. Lightning strikes. We're in a bit of a holding pattern here, waiting for the game to start again. About 40 minutes into the first half, the Whitecaps lead 1-0. Back in March, the Vancouver Whitecaps took a trip to Tanzania. It was a 3-game exhibition tour. It was an exercise in team bonding, but also an eye-opener for many of the players. A picture says 1,000 words, and it would take more than 1,000 to describe the awe the Whitecaps experienced in their visit to Tanzania.
It was amazing. It was a bonding experience for our team too, and we came out of there really, we learned a lot from their culture, and I'm pretty sure they learned a lot from us too.
It was an eye-opener, you go see some of the living conditions. There's no grass, just sand and, 2 telephone poles or 2 trees, and they tie a rope between them. So it was interesting, and, they just go out and play because they love it.
Tanzanian-born Charles BK still has a big smile on his face, describing the trip to his homeland. There was so much for his teammates to learn about life and soccer in a whole different part of the world.
I think, we learn in humility, we learn how to, be content with what you have and stuff like that.
We get gloves whenever we want, we get shoes whenever we want, we get gear whenever we want, and it's just not the same over there. And I think it was great for some of the young guys, to appreciate, where we are right now.
It's all about soccer over there. That's basically the only and the biggest sport they have. And we played our games in this huge stadium, which was totally new and absolutely fantastic.
Obviously, it was a fantastic trip for the Whitecaps, but not an incredibly fantastic work of training this week. Another fight between teammates that ultimately resulted in Wesley Charles being released from the club. It was a difficult decision for the coaching staff, but Charles ultimately forced their hand. Turns out this was just the beginning of Wesley Charles's indiscretions. He headbutted teammate Jeff Park in training Tuesday and was consequently released by the club.
He's a player that maybe was good, but not good for the team.
For me, it was just obvious that we had to do something about it, you know, and we are just looking into in which way we can help Wesley, because he obviously have been struggling a little bit in his private life, and we will just see what we can do to help him.
We had a lot of young players, and it was important for us to have, to take away all the negative stuff.
With the negativity behind them, this could be a new beginning, a chance to turn the page.
It is what it is, and you just move on from it, and you come together, and you try to just build on this, and you put it in the past.
This is the time where, we're a couple points out of the playoffs, so, we have a half a season to turn it on. If we would have been really far behind, then we would have had some trouble. We're still right in the mix.
We're in a storm delay here at Swangard Stadium. The lightning strikes have interrupted the first half, but stay with us. We'll have more to come coming up on Save on Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw.
Welcome back to Save on Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw. We're in a lightning delay here at Swangard Stadium as we get set to look at the BC Hydro Power Smart statistics, and a very interesting start for the Whitecaps, that's for sure. 2 great chances and one of them turned into a goal.
Diego, looking monitors.
Yeah, it looks like Charles Biquet coming through first of all. I think he should have scored there, and the goalkeeper's come and made a good save. He's had a bit too long on the ball. He should have took that one away. But here we see a bizarre effort here. It's a strike and just over the bar, and I think that might have been Burgess on the left side. And it's very unfortunate there. He's got a player coming at him. And here we have, is it Adderley coming through here, and number 11 coming through, and it's a great little first touch. Never a foul. It's a great tackle there, and a good clearance by the Whitecaps. But it's certainly been end-to-end stuff. And here's Adderley there, and I think he should have had a foul on that one. Redder's a little bit fortunate to get away with that one. But there's certainly chances either end.
And here comes the goal in minute number 4. Nash played it through. There's Kraus with a dreadful back pass, and the goalkeeper actually, you just saw there, slipped beforehand, and there's Marcus Haber pouncing.
I think the goalkeeper's at fault on this, Peter. He's come creeping out of his goal. The defender doesn't know where he is, and really, I think he's more at fault than the defender. But Marcus Haber, full credit, took advantage of it, and it's 1-0 Whitecaps. Thank you very much.
And then we had the lightning storms, and it's been unbelievable. So we are in an extended delay as we have a look at the province halftime statistics. The match was halted at about 43 minutes. So when we do come back, they'll play the first 2 minutes, or the last 2 minutes of the first half. They'll just switch ends immediately and carry on. And here are the numbers, courtesy our friends at the province, as the Whitecaps had the goal in minute number 4. Well, maybe we're not going to have a look at that at the moment, so we will just pause. And we should tell you that we are going to take an extended break now and then be back around 8:25. So we encourage you to tune back in and check back in with us as we continue this rain delay on Save on Foods Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer with the score. The Whitecaps 1, Puerto Rico Islanders 0. Do check back with us as we return from this extended break.
And we welcome you back to Save on Foods Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw. Thanks for hanging in with us. 2 hours and 7-minute storm delay. Not that anybody here was counting. We're finally ready to get back to some soccer action. The players behind me just warming up and get ready to get back on the pitch. After obviously a lengthy delay, the officials were out checking the field. Obviously, they feel it is okay and an okay condition for this game to continue. We made it through 43 minutes of the first half. So to catch you up on what has happened so far, in case you've forgotten, let's send it up to Peter Shad and Alan Arrington.
All right, thanks, Kristen. This is almost 3 hours ago since Marcus Haber put the Whitecaps on the score sheet after a bit of a dreadful miscommunication between the goalkeeper and John Kraus, defender, as Martin Nash sent it forward, and the goalkeeper slips here, Alan, but still It's hard to, I think 50-50 blame or more blame on the goalkeeper there.
I would blame the goalkeeper more. I think he's crept out of the goal and not really said anything to the defender. The defender doesn't know he's there. He has slipped a bit, which makes it worse, and he's left a tap in for Marcus Haber, who will take that and say thank you very much. But I think the goalkeeper's got to pass the information on to the defender. You know, I'm coming up there, or keep his ball or whatever. But by not saying anything, the defender's got his back to him. He flicks it over, and the goal's there.
Nick Adlery's on a yellow card, so is the goalkeeper, Mike Bohonik, and there's Nick Adlery getting his booking. Charles Biquet's also been booked in this match, so 3 players on a yellow card. And basically, it's a shame that they couldn't have played 2 more minutes because everybody might be home by now, Alan.
Well, they might be. I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm about 95% sure that if they'd played till half-time and then came out and started the second half and played 2 minutes, the result at that time would have stood. But because if they abandon the match before half-time, I think they have to replay the game. And in the circumstance here with Puerto Rico, it's a terrific amount of travelling back and forth to play the game. So they've had to wait to do it. Now, in the event of the storm happening again, if they play, what they'll do is they'll restart the game and they'll play till half-time. They'll switch ends and they'll play the second half. After 2 minutes of the second half, I believe, if it's abandoned after that for more Thunder and Lightning, the result would stand as it was. Whether it's a win for the Whitecaps, as it stands, if Puerto Rico tied up, it will be a draw. But we're back in play. It starts with a throw-in. That's how the game ended. It's a throw-in to Puerto Rico. And we are off. The game is underway, still in the first half.
Kraus sends it into Whitecaps territory, and Marlon James has come on in place of Charles Biquet. So that is a Energy Max substitution in minute number 44. Marlon James in for Biquet. And Biquet was struggling a little bit after the collision right off the bat, as Marcus Haber plays it for Burgess. And incidentally, there won't be a break. The 2 teams will immediately switch ends at the halftime interval here and carry on. So there won't be a long halftime break, and we really do appreciate you checking back and coming back to Whitecaps Soccer, brought to you by Save On Foods here on Shaw. Whitecaps 1, Puerto Rico 0. Alan Arrington and Peter Shad alongside you here at Swangard Stadium. Still rain falling, but not nearly as bad as it was earlier on.
Well, we've had all sorts happen tonight. We've had a giveaway goal by Puerto Rico. We've had the rain and the thunder and lightning and the stoppage in play. Who knows what the rest of this game's got in store for us, but if we get through the first half, then we'll get to the second half. I still think there's a lot in store for us tonight. Puerto Rico, they've been a steady team the last few weeks, not giving many goals away. And, you know, there's been chances both ends in the first half, as long ago as that was. So I don't think this game's over yet by a long way.
One thing, obviously, that the players will have to be worried about, and the coaches especially, is injuries now after that long a layoff. And Puerto Rico, of course, used to a much deeper Eastern time zone. I mean, I think this would definitely benefit the Whitecaps, this delay.
I think it would, obviously. They're the home team, and I think Puerto Rico, they've travelled, they've come up from Portland. You know, they're going to be a bit tired. They played a lot later than the Whitecaps. So, yeah, I think the advantage should go to Vancouver. But you never know. I mean, sometimes the break might just spur them on. You never know. Let's wait and see. There's a lot going to happen yet.
Good run by Gordon Chin. Cuts it inside, and you can see the pitch is pretty sloppy right now, and that was another of the concerns. It was slippery in the first half when we were playing, and the players are going to have to be prepared for that here as up goes Knight, nods it down for Chin, and Jordy Lyle goes backwards to Jeff Park.
I think also looking at the players, they've all got brand new fresh uniforms on, which would be a welcome change for them after being soaked in the first half. So it's almost like starting again, you know, you're 1-0 up, the half's really almost over. It's almost like starting again in a new game, but you're only playing half time.
Park looking for James, who's come in for Charles Biquet at minute number 43. Barris, left-footed ball into Whitecap territory. Jaggio Singh on the chase. Jeff Park with a little touch back, and it's Jay Nolly puts it high into midfield. Marceline should almost go over these lineups one more time. We'll do that after the interval here. We're going to have a quick, short 2-minute turnaround once this half is completed, and we are in first half stoppage time now, as Villarreal gets set to throw in from the near touchline. Marceline. Knight lets it run. Takes it quickly for James, who's had his injury issues so far this season, but has 4 goals as well. Villarreal left foots it up the line. Adlery there on a yellow card, but knocked into touch by Park.
And I just heard there's 1 minute of injury time in the first half. Let's hope we get this over and get into the second half, and we'll see what happens from there.
Well, we've already played 90 seconds of stoppage time. And again, the man in the middle is John Oliva, as Jay Nolly steps up and scoops that ball and then sends it for Tyrell Burgess. And there's the halftime whistle. So these two teams will switch ends, and we'll take the quick break here. Whitecaps still leading by 1-0 on a 4th-minute goal from Marcus Haber as we have resumed at Swangard Stadium. You're watching Save On Foods, so Whitecaps soccer on Shaw.
And now for your Team PowerSmart Quick Tip. If all households used a clothesline or drying rack to dry laundry 50% of the time, enough electricity could be saved each year to power the city of Richmond for 3 months.
So be sure to use a drying rack or clothesline instead of a dryer. Join me on my other team, Team PowerSmart.
Give me a shot, Louie.
Oh, what a save. There we go again. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Oh, nice. That didn't go in.
I'd say keep your day job.
I think you're right. You want to show me how it's done?
Okay.
All right. Oh, nice shot. Wow, you're on fire. So, Quinn, what do you think about playing goal?
It was really cool. Because you're too easy.
I think she's got a bit more talent than me.
Save On Foods, Whitecaps soccer back on Shaw, and they didn't waste any time in turning around, as they should have, as our referee John Oliva just got the teams to switch sides, and we're back underway. And I'm going to quickly go over the 11 again. It's Mike Behonik, who's normally the backup to Bill Gaudette in goal, and he's off to our left now in the north goal. His backline, Rivera, Veras, Kraus, and Villarreal. In midfield, it's Bandy, Villegas, Marceline, and Fraser, and up front, Nick Adlery and Kendall Jagdeo Singh. For the Whitecaps, Jay Nolly in goal, Jordy Lyle, Marco Reda, Jeff Park, and Taka Hirano at the back. As away goes, Marcus Haber had a shirt tug there, and it was Veras who tugged on the shirt. I'm wondering if the referee will call that back. He's not. Through midfield, the Whitecaps have Wes Knight, Gordon Chin, Martin Nash, and Terrell Burgess. Up front, it's Marlon James, now in for Charles BK and Marcus Haber. The Whitecaps have possession through Hirano. Minute number 47 as he sends it high, left-footed towards Alexi Rivera.
Well, certainly a tug on the shirt of Marcus Haber who was going through there, and I thought he was definitely impeded. And the referee might well have blown his whistle and give a free kick in a dangerous position, but he opted to let him play the advantage, and in all honesty, there wasn't an advantage.
Adlery, square ball in for Villegas. Bandi, Marceline, overlapping is Villarreal. On his left foot, good first touch, gets himself around Wes Knight. Knight got a tackle in, and the Whitecaps come away with the ball. Jordy Lyle tried to step around his man, but it's the Whitecaps who concede the free kick.
Yeah, Jordy just clipping him from behind there. There was a couple of chances of fouls either way, but Jordy being penalised there with a little clip from behind. And this is in a fairly dangerous position for Puerto Rico as well. They've got the big guys coming up, and you know, on a wet ball and a slippy surface, if they get a decent ball in here, it could cause some problems.
And Bandi is the man who takes the set pieces. Lots of jostling in the Whitecap penalty area. Bandi whips it towards goal, punched away by Jay Nolly, only as far as Rivera, who wound up, and then he's given a foul, and the referee was right there. The Whitecaps are furious because they felt they had a counterattack on, and Alexi Rivera made a meal of it.
It looked like a decent tackle. We see it on the replay here, I think, and you might see it, but I thought it was a good tackle. Chance to have a look, and it wasn't a lot for me in that. I thought it's a bit harsh, but it's a good opportunity again for Puerto Rico. Now we're past it up to the 48-minute mark, so no matter what happens today, Peter, after this, if the match is abandoned for more rain or thunder and lightning, the result will stand as of now.
So the Whitecaps have to defend this now, and they're backed right up to the edge of their penalty box. And they have 4 in the wall. Gordon Chin is going to chase this down here. Bandy standing off of it. Villegas, nice little touch for Adlery. Low ball, and that's cleared away. And Takahirano will send a left-footed ball off of the heels of Adlery and touch. The Whitecaps will have a throw, and they survive that scare.
Well, certainly it started off as it ended the first half of the game, as action at both ends and chances at both ends. There's only 1 goal in it up to now, 1-0 for the Whitecaps, but there's been a lot of chances at either end. Nothing really clear-cut, but there has been sort of half chances, and it's been a fairly open game tonight.
Haber couldn't reach out for that one. Krause nods it through midfield. Nash with a cheeky little touch for Chin, and he spreads it wide right. West Knight overlapping is Jordy Lyle, who's looked bright. And is that too far ahead of Jordy Lyle? Nope, but he managed to win a throw-in, and West Knight may try to throw this one long.
Yeah, it was a good run from Jordy Lyle. Not the best ball from West Knight to play him in there, and I think the rain's got a bit to do with that. It's sticking up a little bit on the surface.
Marlon James. Terrell Burgess on his left foot has a go. It took a deflection. That'll be a corner, and it'll be the Whitecaps' second corner from the near side, and this is a Steve Nash Sports Club Whitecaps corner, which Terrell Burgess will try to whip in, and if he has another good one like he had in the first half, they'll be in good shape here.
Yeah, he knocked a great corner in the first one he took, and if it's anything like that, I think it will cause problems for Puerto Rico. Got the big man in at the back, and they've got a player to flip it on as well.
Right to the near post in the back of the net!
What a great delivery.
Terrell Burgess might have just scored his first goal as a Whitecap, and it might have also taken a touch off a Puerto Rico player, but the Whitecaps have doubled their lead in minute number 51 on a tremendous Terrell Burgess corner.
Well, Peter, to me, that's the best corner you can take. The near post ball, pinged in like that. You've got Marcus Haber trying to come and get it, but I think it's actually deflected off a Puerto Rico player and into his own goal. It looks like an own goal to me, but it's all about the delivery, and Terrell Burgess has knocked a terrific corner kick in, and whether he gets it or not, it looked like an own goal, but a good goal, 2-0 Whitecaps.
And I believe it was Veras who was the last man to get a touch, so it should be an OG for the Puerto Rico defender, the number 16. And Kyle Veras won't be happy with that. They really might have had 2 own goals in this game, really, if it weren't for Marcus Haber stealing in and claiming the first one.
Well, I mean, the first one was a bit of a comedy of errors, but that one, I think you've got to give credit to the delivery from Terrell Burgess. It's a great corner in. I'm a big proponent of knocking balls into the near post. Goalkeepers tell you they don't like them there, and Haber's on to try and flick it on. He didn't get contact, but it causes so many problems that they even scored their own goal. And the quality of the delivery is why they've got the goal. It's a great ball in, and it's not a fluke because he did that earlier in the first half as well.
So right now it has been given to Burgess, but I think it will be an own goal in the end, and it'll be Veras who is the goat on that particular play, as Knight sends it to the top of the penalty area, nodded away by Krause. Nash did well to win it back, surrounded by orange jerseys. Gordon Chin goes in for the tackle. There's Peter Villegas. And then a sliding tackle again by Nash. James. And a poor ball stolen away by Villarreal. Oh, and that's quite a tackle. Jordy Lyle went in hard on Villarreal. And he's down on the deck. And Jordy Lyle is over there to
trying to get himself out of a yellow card is what he's trying to do, but a tough tackle. I don't think there's anything malicious with Jordy Lyle, and no harm done. Up and playing again.
And again, Burgess showing his pace as the folks in the press box try to determine who gets charged with the own goal there. Minute number 53, and the Whitecaps leading by 2-0. And Takahirano with the throw. Whitecaps have some reinforcements on their bench tonight in the form of former residency player Randy Edwini Bonsu, finally back from injury. Ethan Gage, Vincente Arce, Mason Trafford, and Luca Bellisomo are also on Tater Torderson's bench as Sean Fraser's fouled. Colin Clark has Scott Jones, Christian Arietta, Nunez, Gargan, Hansen, and Fabrice Knoll as well. And it's Bandy who's standing off the ball with a free kick. And look at how many Puerto Rico players are pushed forward. The Whitecaps maybe with a counterattack opportunity here if Burgess could get free. Adlery peels away, and Bondi directs it to the back post. Headed across beautifully. Fraser couldn't get contact. Here's Villegas in a puddle-filled penalty area. Villegas trying to turn away, and all the way back to Rivera. Good first touch on his left foot. Sends it wide to the far post. Flag goes up, and down goes Jay Nolly, and he got some contact. It'll be a Whitecap free kick.
I think it's offside to start with, Peter. The linesman's got his flag up here, and there's an offside when he crossed the ball in. But I'll tell you what, Peter, we'll have to give credit to the fans here at Swangard Stadium. We've had a long break with the thunder and lightning. The game stopped. We started at 7, it's now 20 after 10, and there's still a good crowd of people that have stayed here, and that's credit to them. I mean, really, good fans in Vancouver, and I think they've showed their worth tonight by staying around and, you know, and seeing the game through. A lot of people could have went home, but some people have gone home, but what a good crowd that have stayed behind to take in the game.
Now, this could be a very pivotal result for the Whitecaps season, especially against a team that's tied for first in the league right now. 5,725 fans were here at their peak, but many of them have gone home. You're right, though. The ones that have stayed have done a great job as Jay Nolly sends a right-footed ball into Puerto Rico territory. Appeals for offside, not given. And West Knight goes up for a tackle and a challenge, and then Jeff Park nods it into Puerto Rico territory. Kraus back to his goalkeeper. And James chasing him down. Hirano. Kraus thumps it forward. Marco Reda, the last man back. And those kind of balls are dangerous with puddles in that penalty area. You can see how much water is on the park. As Haber goes up, Rivera. And so Puerto Rico's 5-game streak of not allowing a goal has taken a hit here tonight. And the Whitecaps with a pretty big 2-0 lead right now in minute number 56.
It's a big thing to overcome 2-0. I mean, the way they're playing, the Whitecaps look fairly comfortable, but you never know. It's still open end for end. I mean, if Puerto Rico happen to get one back, it could be game on all over again. But the Whitecaps, if they're smart, they'll just see this one off and keep it tight at back and not do anything silly. You know, I think one of the dangers, and we've seen this in the past over the years, is if they sit right back and try and defend the lead, it could come back and haunt them. But if they're a bit clever and you know, drop players into midfield and put the pressure up there, it may be better for them.
Hirano. Jadio Singh is really going in hard, and it's Hirano who's called for the foul, but boy, does the Puerto Rico forward, number 23, have some pace to him as Villegas rolls it backwards for Rivera. And after all the thunder and lightning, now we have the fireworks display going on in the background as Burgess leaves for Nash. Chin. Wide right for Knight. Here comes Jordy Lyle in the overlap. Gordon Chin on the trot, chasing nicely, gets to the ball at the edge of the box. Back for Jordy Lyle. Right-footed ball into the penalty area, and it's off the side netting for a goal kick. There's only one place to see who's the best. USLsoccer.com. Play with passion. For results, standings, goal scorers, and more, it's USLsoccer.com.
Well, Peter, Gordon Chin certainly started the second half with a bit of pizzazz. He's made a couple of great runs forward and kept possession well. He's got terrific little appetite for work. You know, he works very hard. He's a sort of an unsung hero in midfield. He just wins things and gets it and gives it and plays it simple. But he's done well tonight.
Flag goes up on Sean Fraser here in minute number 58. And so the Whitecaps will get possession back. And we saw the Whitecaps in their last home outing against Minnesota pile on the goals after getting that second from Martin Nash in the penalty spot. Let's see if they can achieve a similar result here as Hirano rolls it through for Burgess, who's been excellent tonight. Burgess with a right-footed shot, and he earns himself a corner. And let's see if he can create the same kind of magic he did in minute number 51.
Well, my saying is, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. Get the same ball delivered in and see what you get again. They're going to put more players there to defend that, and it's going to cause more problems. We've got Marcus Haber again posting up at the front post, and players in behind looking for the flick on.
It's a Steve Nash Sports Club Whitecaps corner kick from Terrell Burgess, right-footed from the near quadrant. Again, whips it in and headed away by Villegas. Knocked right back in front. There was James lurking. Chin. West Knight gets possession back for Jordy Lyle. First time right-footed ball across for Rivera to nod away, or make that Villarreal nodding away. And the Whitecaps with another throw in, and Martin Nash coming over to take. Both benches are clear and players are warming up as Martin Nash gets set to throw in. The fourth official telling the substitutes to back away from Nash as it's whipped through nicely by Haber, and almost another own goal as the Whitecaps earn corner number 4 from the near side, and Burgess will head over there once again. Marcus Haber with a pretty good chance just before that.
Now, there's been a few little miscues at the back by Puerto Rico, and they're doing themselves more harm than the Whitecaps are.
Another Steve Nash Sports Club Whitecaps corner, and again it's Burgess. This one floated to the back post. Gordon Chin chasing that down, but Krause clears. And there's Fraser, little touchdown. Here's Jagdeo Singh. Cuts inside, and now it's opening up on the near side. Good ball played through for Bondi. His first touch let him down. But Sandy Bondi with Villegas overlapping. Bondi whips it through and cleared away as the ball really stuck in the penalty area there. And now Rivera, right-footed ball all the way through, and Nolly will just let it run for a goal kick.
Well, it's very wet out there. You can see the water splashing up around their feet when they're making runs, and the ball's bouncing on the turf. It's pretty slick, and I think the ball's played in the air might be the way to go, because passing it on the ground, it's going to catch in the water and stick a little bit.
We've reached the hour mark. The Whitecaps leading by 2-0. Peter Schad alongside Alan Arrington at Swangard Stadium as Marcus Haber manages to hold the ball up long enough for Marlon James to spread it near side for Burgess. It is an own goal. It's not Burgess's goal. A long floated ball through, and Behonik will grab that and send it right-footed, and that's not the best clearance in the world as Hirano nods down for Nash. And it's got to be tough for Puerto Rico to come back now, especially with the delay as James turns and has a go from distance, but that skips wide for a goal kick. And for all those parents with a budding soccer superstar, have a look at Whitecaps youth soccer camps at whitecapsfc.com/camps. Camps are running now across Metro Vancouver, Vancouver Island, and the Okanagan, and are open to boys and girls aged 5 to 12. Behonik. And you have to wonder if on the own goal, if he didn't shout it off and say leave, but it's pretty tough when the ball is whipped in as quickly as it is, as you mentioned, Alan, as the ball is played back into Puerto Rico territory. James nods it through, appeals for handball.
He's offside.
And the flag does go up against Jagdeo Singh, but the Whitecaps are furious because they felt that Kyle Veras handled the ball and prevented it from rolling through for Marcus Haber.
We have a substitute coming on, Peter. I think Puerto Rico have got a player down at the touchline looking to come on.
And it looks like it's Fabrice Noel, who's certainly capable of injecting some liveliness up front, as Jordy Lyle. Diagonal ball played all the way through. Marlon James almost with the benefit of a very poor clearing attempt, as again it was Veras who's having a bit of a nightmare here in the second half. Good diagonal ball played in by Jordy Lyle, and Veras took a swing at it, and he didn't need to, and he almost gifted it to Marlon James. Nash. Jordy Lyle's brought a lot of stability to right back with Lyle Martin injured. Marcus Haber on the chase, and Marcus Haber will keep the ball in, plays it all the way to the top of the penalty area. Veras clears. Knight did well to keep possession, and then it's stolen away by Bandy. Only as far as Chin, who stumbles and slips in the wet pitch. And then the ball is played out to the near side. And Taka Hirano will win himself a throw, and here comes the substitution for Puerto Rico. Villegas will come out. Fabrice Noel will come in. It's an Energy Max substitution in minute number 63. And Fabrice Noel will, I think, go into midfield as Villegas comes out. Well on the park now as away goes Gordon Chin. Good turn by James. Marlon James cuts inside, has a try, and that's a great goal! Marlon James makes it 3-0 Whitecaps in minute number 64. And what a finish.
Well, that's certainly the best goal of the game, that. He's took that, he's run at the defender, he's pulled it onto his right foot, and he's smacked that into the top corner of the net. What a shot. The pace of the shot does it for me. Look at the turn, he's running at the player. He doesn't know what to do with him. He takes it on his right, and thank you very much. The goalkeeper's no chance with that. What a great goal. That's the best goal of the night by far.
Now once again, Kyle Veras is having himself a nightmare second half for Puerto Rico. He was the man who just basically let James run at him. And the Whitecaps are running away with this one. And we'll see how much of a statement game this is for Vancouver, who have really struggled on the road but have looked good at home. And right now they're playing a pretty good team, although a team that has a lot of players that did not play on Thursday night. Noel touches back for Bandy, but back comes Burgess, who's also had a good game tonight. Morano steps aside Noel and then plays it for Jordy Lyle. Park. Lyle's clearance is charged down and knocked out for a Whitecap throw.
And a substitution, Vincent Arze is coming on the field, getting last minute instructions from Taylor Torderson before he comes on. So there will be a change for Vancouver.
That will likely be Burgess, although it could be West Knight as well, as Burgess pokes it through for James. Feld in midfield, and Marceline takes over for Puerto Rico. Left-footed through ball, skips all the way past his teammates and off for a goal kick.
Well, Burgess to me has had a terrific game tonight. He's been up and down the wing, he's knocked crosses in. I think he's had a tremendous game.
Well, it's Jordy Lyle actually who's coming out.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I think Jordy Lyle's coming back off injury. To play 90 minutes is a lot to ask of him, and he might pull a hamstring, he might pull something else. That's a smart move by the coaching staff to bring him off. He's had a good game, Jordy Lyle. He's been very steady, but I think they're erring on the side of caution. To come back and play a full 90 minutes is a lot to ask.
So Jordy Lyle comes off. It's an Energy Max substitution. Vicente Arce in at minute 66. Arce will go into left midfield. West Knight drops to right back, and Terrell Burgess will go over to right midfield. So Arce
a little bit
on the
of a
left.
shuffle there, but I think that makes sense. West Knight's quite comfortable playing right back. It's the common sense way to go, and they keep the balance that way. They've still got the wide players, and again, they're balanced and comfortable.
And Arce will like to impress, having seen his contemporary and teammate number 25 really impress again here on left midfield. Didn't really show up too much in Carolina, did Burgess, but he's been good in his last two games here at Swangard. That's a good overlapping run by Hirano, who sends it in off the boot of a Puerto Rico player. James goes up, edge of the box. Arce. And did well to keep possession that time for Reda. Last man back is Park. Minute 67, Whitecaps 3, Puerto Rico 0. Goals by Haber, an own goal by Veras, and then a cracking goal by Marlon James. Nolly. He's had a tough time clearing from his own 18-yard box in the second half with all the pooling that's been going on. Haber, good job to keep possession. Tests Arce's speed, but the Bolivian does well to keep in. Cuts inside. Nice little ball for Chin. He could rear up and try one from distance. Good save by Bihonic, and a terrific strike by Gordon Chin.
Yeah, that's a good setup by Vincent Arce, but what a good strike by Gordon Chin. He's going to be a good 30 yards out there, and it sets up nicely for him. He gets good contact on it, and the goalkeeper has to work hard to make a good save on that one.
Another Steve Nash Sports Club Whitecaps corner, this time from the far side, and I think Burgess is going to go right-footed here and swing it out. And that one's gone behind, so that's not his best effort tonight.
He swung it out all right, right out of bounds. Again, he's knocked some great corners in from the other side where the in-swingers. The out-swinger, he's just not quite got that right there. But the corners have been very effective tonight from the Whitecaps, which is a bit of a change. They've not done so well in the past, and I think tonight they've been really effective.
Mahonic into Whitecap territory for Reda and Rivera. Fraser. West Knight. Wide for Burgess. You can hear the turn shout. And Burgess sends a right-footed ball forward. James on the trot. And out comes Mahonic. And he'll claim it at the edge of the 18 and put it on the deck. Drills it into Puerto Rico territory. Noel. Closed down by Arce. Well done by the Bolivian once again. And then Martin Nash sends it left-footed into Puerto Rico territory. It'll stay on. And Marcus Haber has not given up that chase. And does win the throw-in. Quickly taken. Arce. It's got James in the box. Switches play for Burgess. First time right-footed ball. James, good turn! Oh, he just missed the far post. Would that have been a terrific goal?
Oh, what a good build-up, a good switch of play there. A good ball in, and what a great turn by Marlon James, and a good strike. And he's just got a bit too much of a turn on it and hit the far post and just gone by the far post. But a great little turn. He's really got round the defender, and that's unlucky not to be here. That's a great turn and a great effort.
Marlon James has his 5th of the season tonight. That was almost number 6 as he did well to spin and fire. And from the goal kick, Reda. Thumped through. And the play is onside, but good job by Nolly to come out. And Hansen has come on now for Adlery, who was on a yellow card. And the Whitecaps giving away a free kick as Fraser went down. So Adlery's off. And another former Whitecap, Josh Hansen, is in. Minute number 71. It's an Energy Max substitution as the ball is sent into Whitecap territory. First touch was decent from Jaglio Singh, and then he pulled down his man. And I'm wondering if that might be a yellow card, as both players are going pretty quick. And Jaglio Singh really pulled back his man. Thankfully, it's pretty soft in that penalty area right now.
Yeah, it's a bit chewy, as they say. The ball's going to stick and slide along there. It is a bit wet. We've had a terrific downpour, so the water's going to go somewhere. The drainage is fairly good at Swangard, but there are puddles on the field here and there.
Jay Nolly. And the Islanders on a run here. Potentially 3 losses in a row, including the championship. Good touch by James and a good turn again. Haber, nice little layoff. James, he's got Burgess wide, but has another go. And his eyes lit up once again. Whitecaps are in Rochester on Friday. You can catch the action on USLLive.com, and we thank you for hanging in. If you're still watching in Puerto Rico, if you've hung in this long, boy, it is late where you are, or early. And for USLLive.com, you can catch exclusive interviews, features, and highlights of your Whitecaps FC on USLLive.com, your source for soccer action. Another substitution coming up here, and Nunez is about to come in, and he'll take off Sean Fraser. And the smallest man on the pitch just came on. Martin Nunez in for Sean Fraser, minute number 72. Another Energy Max substitution as the Whitecaps send it forward. Veris. Kick for Marceline. Whitecaps get it through Burgess. Burgess wanting to take on Villarreal. Nash. Left-footed ball pelted across. Hirano just can't get there. And it'll be a Puerto Rico throw.
Good idea for Martin Nash to change the play. He's done that quite well tonight, changing the play side to side. Just a little bit too much on that one, and Chaka Hirano couldn't get on it.
Hansen. And Park will just calmly knock it out for Josh Hansen, who the Whitecaps picked up from the California Victory when he was with that club. And Hansen was a goal-scoring machine for the Victory for those abbreviated games. Then he came to Vancouver and couldn't find the back of the net. And now he's found a home in Puerto Rico. Minute number 73. Jay Nolly with this offside restart. And the Whitecaps cruising towards another victory here at Swangard Stadium. James with a little flick forward. Hansen broken up by Arce. And the Whitecaps, I think, will concede a free kick there as Arce again called for the foul. Veras. Rivera. Moreno broke that up, but Marceline is there. And Nunez. Good run by Arce. Nunez with a clever little steal. And the diminutive player knocks it away. The Whitecaps get it back, and Martin Nash nods it into midfield. Burgess. Not happy with that play. You can hear it on our microphones, I'm sure. West Knight. Off the legs of Villarreal, and now it's Jagdeo Singh with a throw. And here comes Hansen, and a sliding tackle. And I think the Whitecaps will be a little happy that the play was actually called back for the foul there, as Hansen was breaking through.
Yeah, it's a free kick about 30, 35 yards out. And again, the Whitecaps have been fairly comfortable. There's been a few sort of semi-chances for Puerto Rico tonight, but nothing really to trouble Jay Nolly. He's not really had a save to make, but there has been a couple of incidents where there have been half chances.
Free kick now. And again, it's Bandi. Hirano was the Whitecap player, and he's given a penalty. Josh Hansen flopped down. Christian Arrieta is the penalty taker for Puerto Rico. He's not on right now. So we'll have to see.
Here's a replay, Peter, and he's got the ball there, and I have to say, I think he's caught him. He's caught him around the shins there. A little bit of a sloppy tackle, and it's a lifeline for Puerto Rico. Josh Hansen to take the penalty, and this could make it interesting towards the end of the match.
So Hansen to get Puerto Rico on the board, and Jay Nolly looking for a penalty save.
His run's a bit straight for my liking. It's a very straight run up, and I'm not too keen on that. I think you need to be on a bit more of an angle, but let's see what he does with this.
So can the former Whitecap do something he did not do here for the men in white, and that's score a goal at Swangard Stadium, at least for the home side. Did manage that for the victory. Hansen strokes it home, and in minute number 76, Puerto Rico's on the board. Whitecaps 3, Puerto Rico 1.
Yeah, he's took it well. It was a nice little ball into the bottom. It's one of those, though. It's not really well struck, and Jay Nolly's just guessed the wrong way, and then he's gone. If he guesses that way and goes down, he's got a good chance to save that. It's one of those. It's as long as it goes in, it's a good goal. But to me, I think you've got to hit it a bit harder than that.
Burgess wins the throw in midfield. 14 minutes from time. And I know a lot of the players will be looking forward to this game being over, given how long since we started at 7 o'clock today. 3 hours and 44 minutes on. Rivera. Chased down by Arce. And Hirano, good read, but it'll be a Puerto Rico throw. If they get another goal here, we could be in for a very interesting finish as Reda again knocks it out. Hansen the goal scorer. Bandi, Rivera, and again Arce going in. Jagdeo Singh caught by Burgess, and that'll be another Puerto Rico free kick.
There's a few tired legs out there as well, you know, even though it's still, they've only played, 77 minutes. They've had a long time in between. They've had to warm up again, and that time takes its toll. So I'm sure there's a few tired legs out there. Probably Puerto Rico more so than Vancouver.
Bandi, right-footed, drifts it towards the back of the penalty area and headed on and out. Another factor in Colin Clark's decision to field this lineup tonight is that they'll be in Toronto on Wednesday for the first of the two-legged CONCACAF Champions League qualifiers. They try to get to the group stage, and they'll be at BMO Field, and then the return leg will be down in Biomom. But that's a big test for this team that made it all the way to the semifinals, Puerto Rico, and that'll be a test for Toronto as well.
Oh, I think between these and Toronto will be a good game. I mean, Toronto certainly have a strong squad in the MLS, but the USL teams have always done well against MLS teams, and I don't expect anything different when Toronto meet Puerto Rico next week. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a close game. Toronto should have the advantage, but again, USL teams do well, you never know.
Burgess did well to get the possession back. Left-footed ball to the top of the box. Hansen. Nash. A little chip forward and well cut out there by Villarreal, who sends a left-footed ball forward looking for Jagvir Singh, who's been dangerous all night, trying to get in behind West Knight. Gets to the outside and knocked out for a Puerto Rico corner. If I'm not mistaken, I think BMO Field may still have natural grass on it for the Real Madrid match that's coming up there. So Puerto Rico might get the benefit of a natural surface that's being brought into BMO Field. As the corner from the far side. And again, Bondi to take. Right-footed, driven across and nodded away beautifully by Reda there. Rivera. Right-footed back in, flag goes up. And 3 players offside and then kicked out of the hands of Jay Nolly, and that could get ugly. And there's a shoulder challenge by Reda. And it was Kyle Veras again, who's had an absolutely dreadful night. And he's a little bit fortunate, I think, to just escape with nothing here, because he was the one who instigated that late challenge on Nolly.
Yeah, he is. He's a bit, you know, Marco Reda's he's a bit silly, really, getting involved there. There's no need to get involved. The referee's quite capable of taking care of the business on the field. And when players step up and start shoulder charge, I think you're just drawing attention to yourself.
So Reda is booked in minute number 80, when really it probably should have been Veras, who not only went in late, but kicked the ball away and went in on Jay Nolly. And for Veras, I think that was just frustrating. And that second push for Reda, I think, was the one that did him in, as play continues in midfield. And now the referee wants to talk to Terrell Burgess. And Burgess has to be careful that he's not going to go in the referee's book, but Burgess just ignored the referee and walked away as play continues here in minute number 81. And the Whitecaps will really want to get this game over with, I think now. Another substitution forthcoming as well, as Mason Trafford is getting his gear off. And Puerto Rico with a free kick. And I think they sense if they could just get a goal really quickly here, could make for an interesting finish. Flicked into the edge of the penalty area, nodded away by Harana. Veras again, who's moved up, lost it to Arce. And acres of space forward if Burgess, if they can get this ball forward, Burgess is in good shape, and there's the ball. And now Burgess's pace will take him past his man, Villarreal, as he's wide right. Marlon James in the penalty area, James with a header! 4-1. Goal number 6 for Marlon James. Terrific ball by Burgess, and that should just about do it.
Well, it is a terrific ball in by Terrell Burgess. It really is. It's right on his head. He can't do anything else but score. I thought he might have volleyed it in there, but I always tell my players, if you can get your head on it, get your head on it first. And what a good header. He's headed it down. It's bounced over the goalie. Difficult to save that one, but what a game. I think Terrell Burgess has had a cracking game tonight. He's the best player on the field for me. He's almost scored a goal. They've got an own goal off it. He's created a couple of goals. I think he's been tremendous tonight. And what a cross for the finish. But again, Marlon James has come on. He scored 2 goals. What does that say? He wants to play, doesn't he?
And James couldn't corral that particular play. Mason Trafford with another Energy Max substitution in minute number 82 as he comes in for Gordon Chin. And Nunez scampering through the Whitecap midfield there, wins himself a free kick.
Well, Gordon Chin's come off on a well-deserved rest for him because he had a good game tonight. He's ran and put a good shift in. He's worked hard, he's tackled, he's challenged, he's won the ball, he's kept it simple, and he's had a couple of good chances on target. You know, he's done okay tonight, Gordon Chin.
Well, Alan, you've said it over and over again. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And a win here against a good side like Puerto Rico would be a real morale booster for the Whitecaps. And with Montreal drawing today at Austin, they were down 2-0. And managed to come back and pull out a draw. A win here for the Whitecaps would get them back close again with Montreal, who would lead them by a point as the Whitecaps try to get back in the playoff picture. Haber, why not play it to Arce, who's wide right, and then he plays it across. Well, that's Gordon Chin. I thought it was Chin who came out, so clearly he's not out. I'm not sure who Mason Trafford's replaced here. Burgess, who's the man who's come out. So it was Terrell Burgess swapped for Mason Trafford. Gordon Chin remains in the match. And Marco Retta plays it wide for West Knights, who just couldn't keep it in on the far side. 7 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Whitecaps with a commanding lead against a pretty quality opponent. A wild rainstorm and lightning storm as Ethan Gage is about to come on now. And interestingly, he'll take out Park, so Trafford will drop back to central defense. Randy Edwini Bonsu is coming on too, which is exciting for the fans because the number 17 has speed to burn. So it's Park out for Gage, and I believe Haber will be the man who's swapped for the Whitecaps residency star, and that substitution will have to wait.
I think they made a mess of that one. The fourth official's not sure who's coming off, and the players wanting to come on, they don't know who they're bringing off. It's a bit of a mismatch back there.
Hansen went for another tumble in the penalty area. Villarreal, who's had a pretty good game for Puerto Rico at left back. Nunez. Rivera, left-footed through ball, cut out by Reda. Noel. Fabrice Noel trying to go wide. That's Bandy on the ball, in fact. And he's called for the push. And now the Whitecaps should be able to make their substitutions. I'm guessing Marcus Haber is going to make way for... And he does. So Randy Edwini Bonsu is coming on here. It's his first action for the Whitecaps in quite some time. We recall him coming on as a second-half substitute in Seattle and Tequila last year and having a bushel of chances that he created all himself with his speed. So Bonsu's on.
Chin coming off now, and Ethan Gage going into midfield.
That makes sense. So Ethan Gage replaces Gordon Chin, who's had another industrious outing for the Whitecaps. Energy Max substitutions here in minute number 86.
Well, it's fresh legs on, and keep it simple. Don't do anything silly. See the game off, and 3 points in the bag if they play the cards right.
And you look at the residency component now of the Whitecaps with Gage in center of midfield and Bonsu up front. Mason Trafford playing wide left. And here's Vicente Arce. He's got Bonsu ahead of him. There's a little touch for Edwini Bonsu. Gets around his man, right-footed ball. And again, there was Marlon James lurking. And the Whitecaps will have to settle for a goal kick at the other end here.
Well, as a centre-back playing for Puerto Rico, the last thing you'll want to see is Bonsu coming on with his pace and his youthfulness, running around in exuberance, especially this late in the game when you've had a long night. I mean, I often say the game's not a sprint. It's a marathon, but it is a marathon tonight. It seems like we've been here for hours, Peter. It's one of the longest games I've been involved with.
Jagdeo Singh wins a corner for Puerto Rico in minute number 87. And I think it's Bandy who will come over to take this one. He's taken all the set pieces here tonight. Sandy Bandy, right-footed. And the header just drifts wide of the far post. It'll stay on the park. The Whitecaps will see it off. Well, it's another corner. The assistant referee made that decision. And again, the referee has to deal with some pushing and shoving in the 6-yard box. And it's Josh Hansen who's making a nuisance of himself. Marlon James, who came all the way back to nod that one clear, as Rivera sends a right-footed ball diagonally all the way through. Hansen was open at the back, and now it's cleared. And look out, 3v2 possibility here, but Bonsu's first touch wasn't the greatest. And the Whitecaps win a free kick.
Well, the Whitecaps just need to keep possession the last few minutes, see the game off. There's not much chance of throwing 3 goals away at this late stage in the game. They need to keep it, pass the ball, support early, and just see the game off and take your 3 points.
Hirano, Trafford, and the Whitecaps will win a throw-in. With a deep-rooted 85-year history in the sport, Umbro is the longest-standing football brand in the world. Headquartered in Manchester, England, Umbro supports many of the world's best teams, leagues, and players, combining club heritage and sports tailoring with the modern football insight to create groundbreaking, iconic football apparel, footwear, and equipment to enhance performance and style on the pitch. For more information, visit www.umbro.com. As Taka Hirano about to throw in here, minute number 89. And after this, the Whitecaps head off to Rochester for a Friday night game, 5 o'clock kickoff. And I was saying earlier that it's on USL Live. It's not on USL Live, actually, because that is a Friday night game on Fox. As Michael Bohonik, who won't be too thrilled with tonight's proceedings, sends it into Whitecap territory. Hirano nods it through. Trafford on the chase. Rivera to clear. Jagdia Singh. And Reda waved at that one. Fabrice Noel with a great move. Noel on his left foot gets around the goalkeeper, and Hansen! Josh Hansen has his second goal in the 90th minute. And it might have been Martin Nunez who eventually got the final shot away as Puerto Rico race back to midfield as we have our 6th goal tonight.
Well, Marco Reda making a bit of a boo-boo at the back, trying to control the ball there, coming over his shoulder, it's trying to control it, mistimed it, and he's in one-on-one on the goalkeeper. He's took too many touches for my liking, but they're in supporting. Too many Puerto Rico players in the box, and really a tap in there. 4-2, and a little bit of a, not a panic, but certainly some anxiety for the Whitecaps.
4 minutes of added time. Josh Hansen with his second goal. If he had scored like that for the Whitecaps, he might still be playing here, but he never did at Swangard Stadium. He has 2 more goals against them tonight. In fact, he's a Whitecap killer in his career as Rivera. Veras, that's cut out by West Knight. Good slide tackle by Gage. Is Edwini Bonsu going to get one chance here? It's Gage going all the way forward, edge of the box. Nice through ball. Arce just couldn't get on the end of it. The goalkeeper gave it away. Here's Edwini Bonsu! And that's a good save by Bohonik, who was down. And if Edwini Bonsu had maybe gotten another yard on that one, that might have been into the gaping net. As it's thumped downfield, as we remind you of our next broadcast on the 15th of August against the Carolina Railhawks. 7 p.m. kickoff here on Shaw. Save on Foods Whitecaps Soccer. As we are now into stoppage time, there's the man who has 2 for Puerto Rico. Josh Hansen once from the penalty spot and once in the 90th minute. As the Whitecaps get a late throw. I'm not sure if either side's going to get another chance here before the final whistle. And the fans can't believe the reversal of that throw-in decision. But play continues with Rivera. They'll be even more furious if Puerto Rico can get another goal off of it.
Get in there, guys, come on!
Marceline played it back, and now it's Villarreal who sends a left-footed ball forward into Whitecap territory and all the way off the end for a goal kick. What an interesting night. Haven't had one of these.
We've had a very interesting night. It's been a long night. It's past my bedtime, this, Peter. But we've had 6 goals. We've had thunder and lightning show. We've had sunshine to start. We've had it all tonight. We've had a terrific amount of fans stay to see this through, and that's encouraging to see so many fans. It really is. And a lot of people still here at this game, and it's almost 11 o'clock at night.
Good run by Gage, who's pulled down hard by Nunez, and that might be a yellow card. The referee's at least going to have a word with Martin Nunez, and now he reaches into the pocket, and there's a stoppage time yellow card for the diminutive Puerto Rico midfielder. So the Whitecaps, with this win, will move to 21 points, 1 back of Montreal, still in 8th spot, but they have a game in hand on the Impact, actually 2 games in hand on Montreal, a team they would love to knock out of the playoffs. after the Neutralite Championship qualifying. Marceline. The Whitecaps win a throw. 3 of the 4 minutes of stoppage time played. Knight. Marceline through midfield. Gage. Park. Bonsu with a little flick. Marlon James is not quite up to it. Vahonik. Arano shaping up underneath it. And called for the foul.
Everybody getting back for the Whitecaps. They certainly don't want to give one away now and have a bit of a flying finish.
Out comes Jay Nolly. 2 fists away. Bonsu. And there's the final whistle. The Whitecaps defeat the Puerto Rico Islanders once again for the 3rd straight time here at Swangard Stadium. They win the season series 2-1, and slowly but surely crawl up that table just a little bit. They didn't move up in a place, but they moved up in points. A final of Whitecaps 4, Puerto Rico Islanders 2.
Well, it's certainly an entertaining evening. We've had a light show, a thunder and lightning show, and we've had 6 goals to boot. Quite a good game considering all the setbacks and the time that's been, waiting in the dressing room for the weather to change. But the Whitecaps came out in full value for money, 4-2 to get the win. And the best goal of the night for me was Marlon James with that right foot smack into the top corner. What a good goal. He just went at the player and he did spank it, didn't he?
Thanks for watching tonight after a very long night. And for Alan Arrington, I'm Peter Shad saying good night from the broadcast booth.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll be back to wrap things up shortly. Stay with us. You're watching Save on Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw.
Wonderful soccer.
Actually, we will wrap things up. A 4-2 win for the Vancouver Whitecaps on Save on Foods, Vancouver Whitecaps Soccer on Shaw TV. Thanks so much for hanging with us. Have a good night. Our next broadcast coming up Saturday, August 15th at 7 p.m. Carolina Warhawks coming to visit Vancouver Whitecaps. Of course, for tickets to that game and everything Whitecaps, you go to whitecapsfc.com. The ticket line 604-280-4400. And we'll say it one more time, the final score 4-2, 2 hour and 7 minute storm delay, but we make it through it. The Whitecaps come out victorious. Good night, everyone.